Well, it's time for Unit 4C, Part 2. And for 5, we were told the time is 18 months, which translates into a year and a half or 3/2 years. The amount is $3,100. Our annual percentage rate is 4.3%. The number of years is 12. And the product of 12 and 3/2 in order to find the exponent is 18. So solving for PMT, we have in the appropriate position 3,100 and times the quotient of 0.043 and 12, all of that divided by the quantity 1 plus 0.043 divided by 12, that quantity raised to the 18th power. Now we got that 18 by multiplying the number of years, which is 3/2 times 12, and minus 1. And what we get is a payment of $167.04. So for number 6, oh yes, here's the story, the interesting problem. Suppose that you are 27 years old now and you would like to retire at age 55. Furthermore, you would like to have a retirement fund from which you can draw an income of $72,000 per year. Well, to determine that, what you would need to have in order to be able to withdraw $72,000 a year, that's our first task. So 0.045, in other words 4.5% times what number, the amount, equals $72,000. And when we solve for A, we get $1,600,000. Now once we know that, that becomes our amount. And now we know, our question is, how much do we have, what are our monthly payments in order to achieve that in 28 years? So Y is 28 years, N is 12, and our rate is 4.5%. And installing the appropriate values in the appropriate places, we wind up with a payment of $2,383.67. So if you're young and you start right now and you can get that interest rate, why then you're going to be in good shape. An annual income of retirement income of $72,000 plus your Social Security, not bad. Let's go on to 7. And the question for 7 is, it says, consider an investment that grows from an original principal to a later accumulated balance. Use words to define the total return on the investment. Well, the total return on the investment is the relative change in the investment value. That is, total return equals the accumulated balance minus the principal, that difference all divided by the principal, and that's what your total return is. For number 8, we have a different kind of problem. It says 6 years after paying $6,000 for some shares of a risky stock, you sell the shares for $2,500 at a loss. Use the annual return formula to compute your annual return to the nearest hundredth. Well, this annual return formula can be found on page 234. And it is the annual return, AR, equals the accumulated balance divided by the principal, that quotient raised to the 1 over the number of years, and minus 1. And so we have principal of $6,000. You sold it for $2,500. After 6 years and installing those values, we wind up with a negative value, and it's negative 0.1358. And to further interpret that, the annual return is the APY, annual percentage yield, that would give the same overall growth. So your growth was negative because you sold for a loss. And we're done.